Hey now! What is up, everybody? My name is Mike Brown, aka Review King MB, and I just got done watching Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise is a 2021 film that was directed by Jaime Colette Serra. I could have completely butchered it. Maybe it's Jame. I don't know. This was one of those many films that was pushed back by the pandemic, and it was released in theaters and Disney Plus. But I did not go to the theaters to watch this, and I for damn sure wasn't going to pay $30. The plot is we follow Dwayne Johnson, who plays this guy, kind of an explorer, but he mostly runs this jungle cruise ship ride, or whatever you want to call it. He gets hired by Emily Blunt, who is looking for a particular kind of treasure, or at least to see if the lore of this myth truly exists. Now, what I thought of Jungle Cruise was, honestly, I went from about the first half of this movie not really giving a crap, not being bored, but just sort of feeling like it was your typical, usual Disney-like film that, especially with it being based on the ride of the same name, gave me a Pirates of the Caribbean vibe, and I'm not so sure if I mean a good way. Until they started to get more mystical and supernatural, and for some reason, from that point on, when certain things about certain characters get revealed, I kind of got more into it. I kind of dug it a little bit more. So I guess overall, I thought it was fine. It was okay. It wasn't as terrible as I was possibly expecting. You have Dwayne Johnson, who plays his character Frank. Dwayne Johnson, from the trailers of this movie and the promotion of it, I was starting to wonder and think, am I getting sick of The Rock? He's everywhere. He makes at least, 2 or 3 movies per year. And it can be exhausting to feel like you're always seeing the same sort of, especially with The Rock, he is himself, or he is kind of the same character every single movie. But once you see him, once he gets into his character, once you see what he's really about, and once he's able to just be himself, have that charisma, have that personality that makes him super likable, you go, yeah, it had to be The Rock. If it wasn't The Rock, this movie would be unbearable, unwatchable. He really is good in the role he is. I even like the fact that, yeah, it's The Rock, so you expect him to be a badass, and you expect him to get stuff done when it comes to the action and fighting, but there was some layers to his character as far as being a scam artist, not really believing any word that he says, and also with his romance with Emily Blunt. The first portion of the movie, they were more so bickering, and especially her, she wasn't believing anything he was saying or trusting him. But then they got to a point where they shared their mutual feelings for each other. They got more on the same page when it came to the adventure. And I started to really like them together. I liked their chemistry. Emily Blunt, of course, is great as this character, Lily. She just, once again, is likable. The two of them, between the two of them, being as likable as they are, and being at least actors that I want to follow more so than maybe even the characters. It was smart casting. Jack Whitehall plays Emily Blunt's brother, and he was fine. At first, I thought he was going to be annoying, going to be your typical goofy side character that's just there for the jokes and nothing really more to it. But I thought he held his own in some sequences. I thought he proved to be at least just one level above your usual sidekick-like character. Jessie Plemons, let me talk about him. He plays basically a Nazi. I mean, I know this takes place in, was it 1916 or some crap like that? I think it's because I've seen this actor in other things, and so I know that he's not really German, or I know that He acted very different from anything that I've ever seen before. I guess the character, the villain itself, is your typical, usual villain like stuff, and so there's nothing in the writing that's different. I just thought that acting wise, he did a great job. Paul Giamatti is in this movie, so I just had to mention that. I always like to see Paul Giamatti show up. Edgar Ramirez is in this film, and he plays a villain like role too, but I was surprised over him being cast in what's essentially a nothing role. A role that wasn't, just seemed maybe a little beneath him. I mean, I've seen this actor in a bunch of stuff, and I know he has range, and I know he can get the job done, and this just felt like he was here just to fill a part. I don't know. It was odd. It was just odd. I couldn't get past his casting in that particular uh, role, but the fact that this is based on the Disney ride shares no connection to me. I don't know anything about the ride. I've never been on it. It didn't mean anything. But I did like how some parts of the movie clearly referenced that this came from a ride, or put some elements of what I assume is the ride into the film. I did think that some of the CGI at times looked okay, but at other times didn't look okay. And it's weird because it's Disney, so I kind of feel like having subpar CGI is almost uncalled for, and kind of surprising to see. I do know that at this point it's after the weekend, so the movie did kind of bomb, or at least it didn't make nearly as much as they were hoping for. I can see why. The movie itself I enjoyed. Overall, I didn't hate it, but I will say that marketing wise, it doesn't stand out. It didn't seem like it was going to be anything different for The Rock as compared to the last couple Jumanji movies that he's done. But overall, it is a little bit better than it looks. I'm going to give this a Netflix and chill.
Oh, yeah.
So guys, let me know in the comments below if you too saw Jungle Cruise. What do you think? Do you like it? Do you love it? Did you love the Disney ride growing up? Did you not care at all and did not see this movie? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later!